What's going on, everybody? So, I have a hookup in a Rose City Comic Con haul. So, the first thing I'm going to show is the hookup. So, um, uh, Maddie T. Matilda, she sent me something all the way from, uh, uh, what is that? Where the hell is it? Israel. Jesus. I just remember Israel. So, Matilda sent me something from Israel. So, she sent me this here. Um, Thunderbolts, number 24, Hawkeye on the cover. So I'm a big Hawkeye fan. And Joker was happening. Merc was going on, and Matilda was going on. So, in the other thing that she so happily sent was this. Went ahead and she drew this bad boy here, and she sent it to me. So that is pretty cool with a nice little cool little glossy thing in the back. I digs it very much. So the comic book and this bad boy. So it was super, super cool. So she drew me for those of you that are just listening, like Comic Core said he is, um, Matilda drew me a Yosagi Ojimbo, which is really cool. She did a really good job. So I got to frame this and put it up on the wall there with the old Jimbo. So she sent me that and the Thunderbolts number 24. And also a little note that was for me too. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I dug that. Now the stuff that I got at the con, I will show the books first, and then I will show the sketchbook. I got a bunch of sketches done this past weekend. Well, my son did, so he had a good time. The con was really good. Um, I had fun. We barely made it out of Artist Alley. I really didn't go comic hunting or into all that other stuff. I just stayed in Artist Alley. But for what I did go is I stopped by Source Point Press. They were getting good, clean fun. They were getting Source Point Press has recently been getting a lot of hype from the speculating place, CBSI. They speculate on every stupid little. If it's a first appearance of a cunt hair, they're all over it. And it's ridiculous. And Source Point Press came out with a book recently called Rejected, and they went crazy. But what they didn't realize is that Source Point Press came out with this book called Boxmasters. This here is basically is done by is his name back here? Oh, it's probably up here. It's written by Garrett Gunn, which I spoke to. Is pretty cool. And this book here is featuring and in cooperation with the real life rock stars Billy Bob Thornton, J.D. Andrews, and Teddy Andradis. Andradis. Anyways, so it collaborated on this book. Why didn't this become a spec book? Because they're stupid idiots over there at CBSI, and they only spec on stupid shit that they think is going to be like the next big thing, and because they probably weren't paying attention to that. The next thing coming out of Source Point Press from Gunn as well is this Franklin and Ghost. So this one here, I'm gonna give this a good read as well. I'm gonna give all these ones here that I have. That's volume 1. This is volume 2 of Franklin and Ghosts. So I'm gonna give both these bad boys a read. They look very interesting. And also I spoke with those guys, and I mentioned I have a YouTube channel. I mentioned I like to do interviews with creators and stuff like that. And they were like, man, just hit us up and we'll get together and we'll go ahead and we'll make it a thing. To where they're talking about like if one of us can't make it, we'll get another creator and he'll go on and we'll just make it a thing where we go on and we promote all of our books. If you're good with that, I was like, man, I'm good with it. So, I mean, it seems like I might be able to break into being Source Point presses All Out. Here's our shit. Hey, you know what I mean? So that'd be pretty cool. The next one here is from Bob Seeley, Sally. This one seems like a pretty good one as well. Um, this one is going to be coming there. This is the volume one. Here it's called Salvagers. Salvagers. There's supposed to be another one coming soon. It's going to be going through a Kickstarter, and this one's going to be this. This looked interesting to me. I mean, the artwork in this is actually pretty good as well. I mean, in both books, the artworks looked really good. There was another book there I did not get. I just didn't have the money to get all of them, like all the books. They were selling all the books, which were done by different people, for 65, and I was like, man, I don't got 65 like that. So I just kind of just was like, let me just get these right here. I'll get these for 30 and call it a day. Which is cool, is they're trade paperback styles. So I was digging that. What's going on, Punisher? So I'm gonna show the other things here. So I went. I have my little sketchbook here that my son got sketches on. So I'm gonna show you guys that last. But we went to Clayton Crane, and Clayton Crane had this here, um, Venom #2, Carnage and Venom, and he went ahead and signed it as well, which he did a nice little hot pink, which is I thought was pretty dope. This is from the new Venom series, so it's not like Venom #3 or whatever, but it's Venom #2, and I think it's a really cool cover. So Clayton Crane did that, and then my son, while Clayton Crane was doing his sketch, Clayton Crane went ahead and, or he went. My son went ahead and he wanted this. He liked that Venom was actually web slinging, so he thought that was really cool. And what you guys kind of saw on the back here, um, this is William Zabak, whatever. So this was the last thing we got of the day. Was this autograph by the Cobra Kai Johnny? Um, Basically, I asked my son if he wanted us to go meet the real Karate Kid. He said yes. So we went over to his booth and we are waiting in the line. And the lady was like, "Are you getting any autographs?" And I'm like, "Nah, we're just gonna go meet him." She was like, "Well, we don't really do meet and greets right now with a long line like this. You're gonna have to come back when the line's shorter." I said, "Well, um, I pretty much went ahead and, I pretty much told her, I was like, look, we stand in these lines like this all day just so my son can meet these actors, whatever, and it's all good. Don't worry about it." And she was like, "Well," I was like, "Look, I'm thinking about buying an autograph, so when I get there, I'll let them know if I want one." She was like, "Okay, fine." I'm like, "Get the fuck away from me, lady. Like, who the fuck are you? Back away, fucking volunteer. Get out of here. Let the handlers tell me this shit. If the handler wants to walk up to me and tell me this, I have no problem going back and whatever, but whatever." Um, so we got all the way up to the front. I told the handler, like, "Hey, my son wants to meet, the Karate Kid, blah, blah, blah. He's a fan of the show." She said, "Oh, no problem." So we got up to him and he shook his hand. They had a little, my son and him had a little conversation. And he said, "You know what? For being an awesome kid, I'm going to go ahead and give you a free signature and poster." So this is the guy who played Johnny. Sweep the leg, Johnny. So he signed this here to Joseph. Stay cool, dream big, and sweep. Always sweep the leg. So your your friend William Zabak. So that's pretty cool. He was always one of my favorite out of that movie, Karate Kid. So yeah, so he got that. Now, one of the guys who did the sketch did in our sketchbook here, he he worked he brought over Bebop and Rocksteady into IDW, and he's the guy that's working on the Bebop and Rocksteady right now. And his name's Dustin Weaver, and I bought off of Dustin Weaver the first appearance of Bebop and Rocksteady in the IDW run, which was in this micro series here. So I bought this off of him, which I thought was cool. So that's basically the first appearance of Bebop and Rocksteady in IDW. So if you dig stuff like that, there you go. Now, on to what everybody wants to see, the sketchbook. All of this was free. So not only was the Wim Zabak signature free, all these sketches were free. So let's go through them. The first one we have here, this one here is Ryan Otley. First guy we went and seen, Ryan Otley. I tried to get something from Ryan Otley for my boy Merc, but the guy was wanting like $300 on a sketch, and I was like, Merc ain't worth $300, so fuck off. So yeah, so this was pretty cool. Did a cool little sketch. These are real quick sketches, nothing crazy. This was Clayton Crane doing a Carnage. Now, Clayton Crane was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just do this real quick, whatever. It was about a 10-minute sketch. And what I thought was the coolest was, I don't know if you guys can see where his signature is, but he actually did his thumbprint right here. He thumbprinted it and then signed through it. So I thought that was super cool of Clayton Crane. So I can steal his identity if I want. The next one here, this was, so if you read Wonder Woman Year One, Yannick, I can never pronounce his last name, but Yannick something or other. He's a French Canadian, eh? He's coming from the Canada. So he did this here for the old kiddo as well. And before that, we had Mark Bagley. Mark Bagley went ahead and did this one right here, because we stopped at Mark Bagley first, and then we went to Yannick Parquet or whatever. Frank put his name in the chat. So if you guys are wondering, you guys can look at the chat and they'll say from Yannick Parquet, whatever. It was actually pretty cool meeting Mark Bagley. Talking with him, he was actually seated. He was seated next to Jim Starlin, and Jim Starlin had a long line, and he asked if I was going to go ahead and get into that Jim Starlin line to try to get a sketch, and I was like, hell no, like it's not worth it standing in that line that long just to go ahead and get a sketch from him. And Jim Starlin was like, I don't blame you. And I had a little conversation with Mark Bagley and Jim Starlin, so it was pretty cool. And I had a conversation with Mark Bagley to the point to where I told him about my YouTube channel, and he was like, man, that'd be great. I'd love to come on. So Mark Bagley gave me his contact information. So I can go ahead and get in contact with him to come on the show. So again, here goes the Yannick. He did the Wonder Woman Year One. And if you don't know, the second volume of Wonder Woman Year One is coming out in October, I think he was saying. So that'd be pretty cool. Now here goes a sketch that Dustin Weaver did of Bebop and Rocksteady. I was like, holy crap. Now there's 3 sketches in here that I will say is like top. Could any one of these 3 can be number 1 on the list. It could be this one, and I'll show the rest and tell you, like there's 3 of them. So this is one of them, and he did a stellar job on that. This is not watercolor. This is just straight out Copic pens, Copic markers, whatever you want to call it. So he did a great job on this. So awesome, Dustin Weaver. This next one here, her name is, I don't remember her name, but she's the girl that worked on Hench. She's the creator of Hench Girl. So, yeah. And while talking with her, she mentioned that Netflix is looking at her stuff to go ahead and possibly make her Hench Girl a TV show or a Netflix show. So that's pretty cool. So she did a cool little sketch there. Now this is the sketch number 3 or number 2 of the 3 that I felt could be number 1. And this one here was done by I forgot his name. He doesn't really work on anything, but yeah, he did this Judge Dredd. My son actually walked up to him and he's seen the Judge Dredd that he did, and he was like, can I have that? And he was like, yeah, sure. So he drew that for him. So he did a stellar job on that, and I was like, man, that's awesome. So this is one of my favorite sketches out of here as well. Now this one here was done by Aaron sparring the guy who basically does Darkwing Duck. So he killed it with this one. My son saw Darkwing Duck and he went up to the guy and said he wanted a sketch. So he gave my son a sketch of Darkwing Duck. This one here, now you guys are probably wondering, what the hell is this? This is actually the head to Voltron. So my son was walking through the artist alley, seeing Voltron, and was like, I want to do that. I want that. And so he told the artist, can I have that? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. So he drew Voltron for him. I don't remember the guy's name, sadly, but that's his signature right there. This little face with the teeth. But the guy's done a lot of work. He's currently working on Vampirella, I believe. I believe he's working on Vampirella, or he did Vampirella. But he's done a lot of work with Colin Bunn. So, yeah, there's that. So this is Greg Rucka. We got Greg Rucka's autograph again because I wanted to have this little remark he does. This is a little remark of him. So we had Greg Rucka go ahead and do that again. This one here is the guy who worked on Lazarus, the artist that worked on Lazarus with Greg Rucka. I think his name's like Mark Lang or something like that. But he drew this little Spider-Man for my kid. Pretty cool. I like it. Let's see. We skipped this page because this one this bled through. So we skipped this page here. And this is Venom. This actually came from, if you guys remember, on the All About Comics channel, I interviewed Nick Filardi. Well, Nick was there, so I went there and was bullshitting with Nick Filardi for a little while. Great dude. He wants to come back on the show for sure. He's like, man, I'd love to come back on. I had a great time. So stay tuned. Nick Filardi's going to be on. You guys already know who did this. And yes, it was free. So he got saved from being called a cunt. So yeah, Adam Hughes went ahead and knocked this out for the boy. Adam Hughes was a lot bigger than I thought he would be, as in like weight-wise. So yeah, so Adam Hughes did Captain America. My son wanted Captain America, so we got Captain America. This one here, if you guys have to ask this is crazy. It's Mike Mignola busted out of Hellboy for my son. So my son thought Hellboy looked so cool that he wanted to watch the Hellboy movie. So he watched Hellboy, and he totally enjoyed it. So, this one here is Jeremy Hahn, the writer of Realm. So, I taught, he works with Nick Filardi because Nick Filardi colors Realm. And so, I was talking to Jeremy Hahn for a little bit, and he wants to come on as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get Jeremy Hahn on the show. So that's going to be pretty dope. And here goes number 3 for top notch, number 1 pick. I mean, like I said, those other 2 were really good. This is awesome. And this one holds near dear to me because it's Stan Sakai. And he drew this free sketch for my kid, Usagi Yojimbo. And it's super amazing. I love it. It was free. I just want to point that out to Merc with a mouth. Free sketch by Stan Sakai. So, yeah, man, I super stoked. I think that's it. I think that was the last. Nope. We got a couple more, I guess. So yeah, so there's Stan Sakai, man. Like I said, those other 2 sketches I pointed out, the Judge Dredd and the oh my god, and the Bebop and Rocksteady. Those are the 3 that are tied for best. But yeah, Stan Sakai, love it. Then we have, I didn't know this, but the creators of Ben 10 are the same people who created Big Hero 6, and they're part of Joe Kelly's team. So they were there, and they drew a Ben 10 for my son, and they like the whole team signed it, except for Joe Kelly because Joe Kelly wasn't on it. And that is now it. So Ben 10 was the last one. We'll flip the page one more time just to make sure. Yeah. So Ben 10 was the last one. But they killed it, man. I mean, I'm going to keep showing this one for Merc because I know he's like talking shit. Because he also stated in the chat that he hates me. So So yeah, so this was pretty cool, man. It was a really good con. I really enjoyed it. We had a great time. My son had a great time. That was the most important thing of it all. And Merc said he wants to stab me. And yeah, I mean, all those sketches were free. Um, the Clayton Crane stuff I got. My son wanted the big poster. Um, I wanted the comic book because I thought it was kind of cool, and I wanted those trades, I guess you can call them, from Source Point Press, and I made some good contacts with some artist creators. So hopefully I can get those guys on and have a talksy with them because it would be pretty dope. I don't know if I'll resurrect the All About Comics for that channel for that, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and just do it on here, on this channel, the Undisputed channel, and say F it. Um, Mark says he wants to stab me. Matilda says I want to meet artists. Punisher Comics says, "Damn, Little Joseph's sketchbook is rivaling mine that I bring to cons." And Matilda says, "No Killing Frost." So this one here. So last year we did another one. I did one last year, and last year like the sketches were just all over the place in the book. It wasn't like how this one is. So this so because we finished this one, and there's still so many more pages. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to write on the front here on this page, Rose City Comic Con 2018, and then after the Ben 10, I'm going to write on this page whatever next con I go to, and the next con that we have is the Eugene Con. So I don't know if they're going to have any big artists there. I haven't looked, and if they do, I'll put Eugene Con 2018, and then whatever happens after that is going to be the sketches, and then again, so on and so forth. So this one should suffice us for the next 2-3 cons. So I'll be labeling what okay, this happened in this year. I'll also put on here for this one here, since this con happened in September. I'll put September of 2018. Rose City Comic Con September of 2018. Eugene Con happens in November, so we'll put November 2018. So we'll put it through, and then we'll just go on until we actually fill this one up, and that'll be super cool. Um, that's it, everybody. I got nothing else other than the fact that I'm hungry and I want to go eat. So I'm going to do that. Mind you, my giveaway ends on the 16th. So all you gotta do is just go over that video that says giveaway and comment and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And boom. So, all right. Have a good one. Peace out.